Welcome into Sports Talk with Theo Dorsey. South Georgia, let's talk sports. When Irwin County hired Buddy Nobles in 2014, they weren't just getting a head football coach. Osceola was introduced to a fiery motivator, a character like the town had never seen. Over the past 4 seasons, he's paraded the sidelines, leading the Indians to unprecedented success. Nobles is the first coach to win 3 region championships in program history. He's the first to make state championship games in consecutive years. And Nobles is also the first to tell you he didn't get there alone. The Indians leader joins us tonight to talk about the journey on Sports Talk. Well, welcome into the show, Coach Nobles, and you can go ahead and do the honors to get them started.
South Georgia, let's talk sports.
Let's talk sports. Well, first off, Coach, I mean, obviously you're at Irwin County right now, been there for 4 seasons, but what we like to do here on the show is to run through your coaching resume and your history. And you started off coaching, as we take a look at the graphic, back in 1987, your first stop, as we could take a look at it. And you started at Temple Christian as an assistant in Jacksonville, Florida. You were there for a year, went to University Christian as an assistant in Jacksonville, went to Union County as the defensive coordinator, and in those 3 stops inside of the state of Florida, you definitely did some damage. I could take a look at some of the things you did. 4 state title appearances at University Christian, winning 3 of them, and then at Union County, you guys had a 53-game win streak, as well as 3 straight state titles. What was some of the big things you picked up in those early stops?
Well, obviously coaching with Coach Pruitt, he taught me a lot about how to treat people, first of all, and then just the game of football, something that I really love. I was able to play baseball in college, but the key thing is I love coaching football. So all those years, and winning was a lot of fun too. You know, when we had the winning streak and won the 3 state championships at Union County, it was just something that, you know, people still talk about today. We had a 20-year reunion just the other day, so it was a lot of fun.
It had to be a lot of fun for you. And then after '99, you took a break. And you talked to me about this break. You said you graduated high school in what year again?
1984.
1984, you graduated high school. You said you complete your bachelor's degree in 2004.
Sure did.
So the 20-year plan, right?
I was on the 20-year plan. Just everything that went on. I was working as a janitor, construction, but I still kept coaching. Substitute teacher, a parapro, teacher's aide in Florida. Just doing things like that. And finally, everybody said, hey, it's time for you to finish your degree. And one of those people was my wife, Tammy. And she said, hey, it's time to do it now.
So can you speak to that experience? I mean, how much of that kind of built who you are right now? Obviously, looking back on it, maybe you could have had some other opportunities earlier on had you finished the degree, but took you 20 years. You had a lot of experiences early on as well anyways, and then you probably picked up some things from those different experiences, right?
Well, it's so funny. It taught me how to work hard. When I can talk to kids about working construction or talk to them about the custodians around our school, I can tell them, listen, I've been there. I understand what those people think and do that and everything. And I tell the kids there's nothing wrong with that, but I had higher aspirations, and I knew to be a head coach, I knew I needed to finish my degree.
Right, that is one of the things I really pick up from you. You had a lot of success there and you've done throughout your career, but you're a very humble guy. Do you point to that as one of the reasons why you kind of know, I mean, that kind of perspective you have?
Well, you know, I take pride in working hard. And when I say work hard, I mean, I've dug foundations. There's no shade when you dig a foundation for a house. And it's so funny, I worked for my father-in-law, Joe Irwin, and he was one of the toughest guys I've ever been around, and he didn't like sports. I mean, but you had to get out and work, and I think that's given me a work ethic. And then when you work with Robbie Pruitt, you better work. You know, it's there's no off time. There's a lot of fun time, but you better work. Even in February, you better be doing something to get better, or March or April, because he expects that.
Right. You did a lot of working with Pruitt throughout these next few years, the latter years after 2000 when you started working on your bachelor's degree. And a lot of that had to do with the guy you just mentioned, Robbie Pruitt, a man who's Coffee High School, not Coffee County, but Coffee High School's head football coach right now. And what does he mean to your life, and how has he helped impact you as a head coach?
Oh, I got two sisters. And really and truly, I never had a brother, but he's as close to a brother as I've ever had. He's a confidant that I can go to and call him and say, listen, I need some advice. He taught me a lot of things in coaching, to worry about the colors at the school you're at and tell the kids that you love them. Be tough on them, but, you know, just tell them to take care of each other and everything. And just the impact that he left on my life is just unbelievable.
Right, and you worked with him. You see some Fitzgerald footage right there. When you were offensive coordinator at Fitzgerald in 2009, I want to point this out to give you a tip of the hat. 639 points that year, a school record, as well as at Union County when you were the head coach in 02. You guys would make a state title game there eventually. I think, what was that, 04? 03. Okay, so you've had your successes as well, working with Pruitt, through Pruitt, even after Pruitt. And speaking of, now you're at Irwin County High School where you've been for 4 seasons. And you're the Region 2A champion, 3rd time in 4 years since you've started. How so much success so early on? Well,
I mean, we have great support, but our kids have great DNA. That's what I tell them. We're very blessed to have some great athletes, and just unbelievable how our kids have responded to the program. I mean, I got to give credit to John Lindsay. He set the program up, and we tweaked it a little bit coming in and everything, but just our kids, unbelievable kids and support from the superintendent on down. I mean, it's a great place to raise a kid, but it's a great place to go on Friday night and watch some football.
Definitely so, and it's a main attraction most Friday nights when you guys play and are at home. And I want to talk about you as a coach now. We've seen you, a lot of clips of you on the sideline. You're a very high character guy, a very passionate guy, and I want to get to some fun facts about you as the man. We're going to talk about some of the things you like. Your favorite food is pizza. What kind of pizza?
Just the old pineapple and sausage. Good stuff. My wife knows that. Okay. When we order it, she knows I like that, but you can't turn down a bad pizza. So
that's true. When you said the old, you made it seem like you were going to pick a classic. Pineapple sausage is pretty different.
If you see us, I'm a plain type of guy on offense, so we like to run it. So that's how we do it. I'm plain on pizza too.
There we go. And then you got some pretty big classics here as your favorite movies: Rocky, Shawshank Redemption, Radio, and Remember the Titans. If you had to pick one to watch tonight, which one would you go with?
I'd probably go with Remember the Titans.
Okay.
You know, I love that, which I'm a big Denzel fan. I mean, if he ever walked in, I would be starstruck, you know. Would love to do that. Plus, I was able to meet a lot of those Remember the Titans, the actual people. When I went to San Antonio, I actually met Petey, Sunshine. Okay. I met both coaches, and just unbelievable to be able to meet those guys and everything. So that's always one of those things I can say I saw those guys live.
Sunshine, I like it.
Oh, yeah,
like it.
Exactly.
Well, let's take a look at what your players thought were your favorite foods and movies.
Say, let me see, baked chicken or something.
Facing the Giants.
Remember the Titans.
When I say go, y'all better come.
There we go. We got a genius in the crowd. Who is that?
Marlon Jackson. Marlon Jackson. He's a defensive end.
Yeah, okay. Well, Marlon Jackson knows his coach. And I got a question for you because next up we got trivia, which hopefully I can finally get a win. I'm on like a 4-game losing streak here.
Okay.
So I got a little trivia for you to bump out until the break. If you guys go out and win the state championship this year, you'll have 42 wins in 4 seasons. Do you know how many is the most wins Irwin County has had in a 4-year span?
I have no clue.
Throw a number out there. Take a guess.
45.
42 is actually smack dab on the number. You got that wrong. Hopefully you can keep doing that after the break. 42 is the number. It happened from 72 to 75, and in 75, of course, was the 13-0 state title year. A potential for it to happen again this year. We'll see. We'll also see some trivia after the break. Welcome back to the show. Coach Nobles has shared a lot with us already, but we're about to see him on a deeper level.
We are. We stopped by practice to see how he runs things and what he values most about being on the football field.
Irwin County head football coach Buddy Nobles gets on his players' levels.
Come on, get up in there.
He does it on the practice field, but his team members say he understands how to do it outside of the lines, too.
Oh, Coach Nobles, he's going to make sure you graze, know everything, make sure if you're down to something, he's going to make sure he gets you right.
And maybe that's because Coach Nobles knows how to relate to the many different people that make up a football program.
Started off as an LMOTP, low man on the totem pole. I mean, everything that I did was just go get this done, go get that done, run scout team, go scout, coach middle school football, coach JV football, and worked as a janitor.
And now, as a head coach, Nobles has a slightly different job, but one he says is just as fulfilling.
And I'll be honest with you, probably one of the most rewarding things is probably those cats. You know, they keep me young. I'm 51 now. My life has changed.
And the Indians that surround him say he returned that favor for them as well.
I think he instills more in the person itself than he does the player. He'd rather get to know you on a more personal level than he would a player level and just a coach and player.
Dunlap adds that it's important to have someone like that because not everyone does.
Good job!
And for Irwin County, a leader and a friend like Nobles has proven to yield success deep into the postseason and beyond.
Now let's learn a little bit about Coach Noble's family. He and his wife Tammy have been married for 32 years. She's a middle school teacher in Irwin County. Nobles has 2 sons and a daughter, and his daughter actually helps run things in practice. She was in the video there, and she helps on the sidelines during Friday night. And that brings us to the trivia portion of our game. We like to call it Theo versus everyone because Theo takes on everyone, and I see hands are getting.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's getting ready to press
Got
their buzzers
a little
here.
ready tonight now.
Well, here's how it works. I'll ask you guys a series of trivia questions. You just buzz in to answer. The first one to buzz in gets to answer. If you get it right, you get a ball, and the person with the most balls at the end wins.
The bell works
All right.
now.
Are you guys ready? Oh yeah.
Better work now.
So we'll test. All right, we'll get right into it. These
I'm
questions.
really competitive now, so all right. If I break the bell, it's okay.
that would be a first, but that would be great. All right. We'll get right into it. First questions, you get to choose this or that. There's going to be 2 options. All right, who was the last football player to win both the Heisman Trophy and an AP NFL MVP honor? Was it Cam Newton or Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers.
Cam Newton.
It was Cam Newton.
Let's go.
And that was at the same time, so I'll let him get that.
Thank you. Come on, that's my guy. That's my favorite
All
player.
right, we'll keep. Is it your favorite player?
favorite guy.
All right, well, I didn't mean to do that. All right. This NFL quarterback never started a game at quarterback in college, but played in the 2010 Pro Bowl. Is it Tom Brady or Matt Castle?
Matt Castle.
Yes, sir. He's got it.
Love quarterbacks now. Love them.
I got
All right, you get to put a ball in now.
Yeah, look at you.
Now you guys are
2?
tied up. No, not yet. I foresee that might happen, but.
Hide in the hands, baby.
I got you.
All right. Who is the all-time career passing yards leader of the NFL? Is it Brett Favre or Peyton Manning?
Brett Favre.
No.
Oh,
It is.
Peyton Manning.
Yes, sir.
I feel like I can win that one now.
wait. All right.
I don't know. All right,
We'll give it to him because he'll need it. That's why.
we'll see. We'll see. If you lose by 1, that's going to be. There's going to be some questions I'm sure I'm going to be asked.
That's true.
All right. Now these questions, you guys have to come up with the answers on your own. Which NFL team raises a flag before every home game in honor of the 12s?
Seattle.
Yes, sir. That's the Seahawks.
That's good. That was good. You got it. All right.
You get to. Don't forget your ball.
I'm not.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back. It's all good.
All right, we'll keep rolling here. What stadium is the site of the first Super Bowl, which later hosted the 1984 Olympics?
Los Angeles Coliseum.
Yes, sir. I see a blank stare here.
What's going on?
You should be very well.
See, I was born in the same year. Well, I turned 1 as the first Super Bowl, so I always count that. We'll have Super Bowl 52 this year, so I always know that.
There you go.
Okay.
You
LA Coliseum's been the answer like 3
I know.
times.
You should be very familiar
Okay.
with the LA Coliseum. I told you there was a trend there. All right. Randy Shannon will serve as this college football team's interim head coach.
Florida.
Yep.
Let's do it. Come
Florida
on now.
got it. All right, that brings us to the halfway point right now. Coach up by 2. We still got a couple questions left,
I got
so
it.
we'll see if Theo can come back here.
Don't worry.
Welcome back. We've got Coach Nobles here from Irwin County. We're deep into trivia right here. Theo, looking a little low, but
Okay.
I feel confident that you might make it interesting.
Come back, season.
And Coach, you don't need any pep talk here. You're well
Just
you're
stay
well
up,
ready.
put the foot on the throat, baby. Let's go.
Wow,
Hey,
that's aggressive,
when
but I
you get
like
them
it.
down, hang on to it, baby. All right?
All right, we'll get right into it. Which NFL team features a decal on only one side of its helmet?
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yep. You got that.
do it
All right, it's getting interesting.
Come back
One away. All right, who is the only defensive player to win the NCAA AP Player of the Year?
They got Dominican Sue?
Yes. Wow, okay.
Boys, come.
If you can get it, I don't know, if
This
you
is
can't get
it.
it in there.
I'm sorry. We'll leave that alone. This is for the game, Coach.
All right, so this
this
is
is
actually,
it.
we are at the last question now. It's tied. This question's worth 2 points. I guess that doesn't matter at this point.
Wow.
But
For all the marbles.
For all the marbles, all the footballs here.
Let's do it.
Who is the only player enshrined in Canton and in the CFL Hall of Fame, the Canadian
War
Football?
Moon.
Yes.
Woo!
Wow. The ball is cold.
Man, the streak is over.
The streak is over, but it was very competitive. It came to the end.
Did you see that? Did you? Come on, you gotta give some credit.
I knew that. I knew that one, but that's the old man getting slower. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The hand speed is
The
sometimes
hand-eye
what it comes
coordination.
down to.
Hey, the young guys win, so.
I can't believe I got it. I've lost so many weeks in a row.
Nice. This
is
Who
nice.
would have known it? Only took Coach Buddy Nobles.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We gotta have you here more.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is the only time I want to lose now. So I'll be
That's
honest
exactly
with you. That's
right.
how it is now.
That's
so.
real. Well, we're going to talk more about the Irwin County season because they have more football games to go and likely more wins ahead of them. We'll talk about their postseason as well as some of the past players coaches coach. Welcome back to the show. I got Buddy Nobles here of Irwin County, the 9-1 Indians and the Region 2 Single A champions for 2017. And they'll also have a bye week right now, which is why you were able to make the drive and join us. So thanks for coming in again.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
Of course. And then also I got to thank you for finally letting me get a win there.
Hey,
you eased up.
I told you before I'd let you have it. So
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. So, but you
I
know,
appreciate that.
I'm not the brightest thing sometimes. So, but at least we had some good questions.
We had some good ones. They were good. Well, let's talk about some good players you've had because you actually coached a guy who's in the NFL right now for the Kansas City Chiefs by the name of C.J. Spiller when he was in high school. Can you speak to, I mean, this is him speaking at Tift County when he came into South Georgia. None of his playing stuff, but the people that know him, this is a highlight machine. Have you ever coached a guy who was as good and electric as C.J. Spiller since?
Well, I tell you what, obviously, you know, getting to Irwin County, and obviously he's not a running back now, but I think Jakiron Young, not as big as C.J. and not as fast as C.J., but he's done a great job. And then we're very blessed to have some kids now and everything. And coaching C.J. was an honor. I mean, I've known him since kindergarten. Him and my older son grew up together. So I've known him even before he made it big in the draft and everything. So very blessed to know him and just to be around him.
Right. In high school, he had a career 5,500 yards, or over that actually, 30 touchdowns and 1,840 yards in his senior season alone. I mean, when you're coaching him, at what point did you realize, okay, this kid's special?
Be honest with you, when he played Papa Warner.
Wow.
He used to play, it was almost like tag football. They were playing tackle, but it was getting to the point where, you know, people couldn't touch him. And you kind of wondered as a 7 or 8 year old, you're thinking, this cat's special. And then whenever I got to be the head coach his 9th grade year, obviously we did some things to showcase him, but we were very fortunate to have a great team around him and everything. So very blessed to coach him and know him too.
Of course, of course. And we can also talk about a team that you're also feeling blessed to be coaching, the 2017 Irwin County Indians, because right now you guys are the Region 2A champs. Not only that, you get the bye week and the Single A playoffs, and you guys have a lot of preparation to go right now. So you're preparing for playoffs. You got the bye week right now. You're going to play the winner of Taylor County and Lincoln County. What is it? I know some people talk about rust versus rest. What is a bye week beneficial for when it comes to your Indians this year?
Well, we really went back to the basics. You know, we went back to our base offense and our base defense to make sure our kids understood what the basics were. And then next week we'll put in a game plan once we really and truly know who we're playing. We'll start working on that probably Friday night when we're on the way home from scouting Lincoln and Taylor. So we want to make sure our kids understand what we're going to do to get what we've done to get there. But then next week's when we really start putting in that game plan and fine-tuning what we got to do.
Of course, of course. And then you guys have been there before. You probably have some seniors on this team who have experienced it. Can you speak to what that experience has done not only for the players, but for you as a coach, because you've been to a lot of state title games in your career alone, not just at Irwin County?
Well, you know, I'm very fortunate to have been a part of some great programs and everything, and we feel like Irwin County's up there too in what we're doing there. The key thing is we want to make sure our kids know the hurt that we felt the last 2 times that we were in Atlanta, and to know that it's hard to get there, but then we want to tell them, hey, we're focusing 1 week at a time. So we can't win the state championship this week, but we can lose it this week.
Of course, of course. And for reference, you guys went to back-to-back state titles in 14 and 15, right?
Yep.
And lost both of those, but now you guys have another clean slate and a chance to make a run as well this year with 4 straight wins, what you would be needing. So can you, but before we wrap up the show, can you also just give me what is it like to be the leader of those Indians, and can you speak to the character of the bunch you have in 2017?
Oh, well, you can speak 2 ways of character. They've got character and they are characters. Our kids are really funny, but you know what? It's unbelievable to coach them Here on the bye week, we've had two great practices, Tuesday and Wednesday, and we expect another one tomorrow. And just everything that we got going on, we appreciate what they do.
Of course, and we appreciate you coming with us. We'll see you guys next time on Sports Talk. Have a good night.